Welcome back, Docomaniacs. Tonight we're going to talk about Comics, the magazine, issue number 2, also known as Wizard Light. No, honestly, there's a lot of love and heart and soul put into this magazine. And the editor is Joe Keating. You have, in this magazine, you have a cover feature, The Savage Sword of Battle Beast. So Joe Keating talks to Robert Kirkman, Ryan Ottley, Russ Wooten, the people that bring Battle Beast to life. So just like Wizard Magazine, there was usually a cover character, and then there would always be somebody doing an interview talking about that cover character, or that book, or that miniseries, or whatever it is. Even like the Spawn universe, when the universe popped off, or the Image universe. So you've got that. They talked to Marjorie Liu and Sana Takada about Night Eaters, which was a previous book to the monstrous book that they're working on now. There's a book, Headlopper, and it says the art director of this magazine talked with Andrew MacLean on 10 years of Headlopper. MacLean's creator-owned classic tale of swords and sorcery is unlike any other. So what you get out of this magazine is that they're not promoting Spider-Man books or Batman books or the big two. They're trying to get you to think outside the box, and they're trying to push the indie creators, okay? So more Dead Samurai and less Avengers, more Scion and less Amazing Spider-Man, that sort of thing. And that's not a bad thing, because as I have grown and as a reader doing this channel over the last 2 years, to take chances on number ones for the initial assessment videos, I've come to learn that there are a lot of interesting and great and amazing and exciting stories that are coming out in these individual issues rather than the big Marvel or DC spectacles that you're paying $4.99 a month for. Instead, if you go and you read Dead Samurai, you get a lovely story about feudal Japan and this daughter who loses her entire family and she's on the run, and you've got uncles that are trying to kill her. I mean, it's almost like it's nice Shakespearean. You read other independent books like White Sky, you read Dork, you read any of this stuff that's coming out that's not mainstream. Okay, Walking Dead was once not mainstream. I'll tell you, I had the first 2 issues of Walking Dead when they first came out in 2003 because I worked at a comic shop. I came home that weekend, and on again, off again girl that I had liked for years came over, and between the excitement of having her over, the crunch time of having to write a 12-page psych paper that night and email it to my professor, which, by the way, I didn't have anything better than dial-up internet at that point, okay? I had AOL. I still had AOL. This was 2003. So not only did I have to write the paper, I had to do a front page or a cover page, as they say. I had to do a addendum in the back. I had to do a bibliography page. It had to be in FMLA format. Are you seeing where I'm going? Walking Dead was only a small part of that at that point. But the first 2 issues, she read that night. She was never into comics. Walking Dead and then Bone were the only 2 comics that she ever really got interested in the time that she and I knew each other for 20 plus years before things went south. And anyway, that's almost a decade ago. We're not going to dredge up the past. The independent books need love. And I kind of feel like, just like Wizard gave them their due back in the day, I feel like Comics, the magazine, is going to give them that push today. Now, is Battle Beast and Robert Kirkman being a household name, is it necessarily a small independent book? No, it's not. But you have to have something big on the cover to throw something out there to grab somebody and pull them in. And they're like, hey, wait a minute, I recognize Ryan Ottley's artwork. I recognize the name Battle Beast. That's a Robert Kirkman thing, I think. He did Walking Dead. You kind of have to do a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon to put everything together to make them pick up this magazine just to flip through it. I really wish that it was a little bit bigger, just like Wizard Magazine was back in the day. But you know what? If we keep buying it, if we keep progressing it, who knows? Maybe 20 or 30 issues in, it will become perfect bound, just like Wizard Magazine was. And then it'll become 200 pages, 250 pages. And, maybe it won't get bloated. Maybe it won't get self-important like Wizard became. I think the first 2 to 3 years of that magazine were pure, and their intentions were pure. And I feel like Comics the Magazine is the same sort of thing. So let's see what else we have here. We have Dollar Bin Kings with Tony Fleecs and Tim Seeley. They're talking about Vortex. And it says, we're starting with Vortex from Hall of Heroes. I actually got this at the Hall of Heroes store, and I did get it for $1 because they have big old boxes of this stuff. Vortex is the work of Matt Martin, who is a 1990s comic book artist that did sparingly little work at the time and where he shook out now. I don't want to know. Anyway, Vortex is sort of Spawn if he were created as an evangelical Christian teenager. So it's like, hey, all those things you like about Spawn, but also Jesus and this thing full of energy? One of those things that you and I always talk about, those Hall of Heroes books, and why we're probably the most hardcore fans, is that they just scream potential. And the downside, of course, is none of the guys who made them really do comics anymore. So then you get Tony Fleecs come in, and he says being a teenager when they were coming out and Wizard the Guide to Comics really got behind them in a big way and made a big deal about them. It says it was so inspiring to see Creed and Vortex. Creed was a book by Tony Caniuga, who was pretty much a skater and a 19-year-old kid that went out there and created this story that he wrote and I believe he drew. And he never did too many issues. I want to say there might be 8 issues of Creed total, but it has nothing to do with the band. Or the band is Southern Creed. So let's not hate on it because of that. But let's see. What else? He said after he finished Vortex, then he created Snowman. And it says Snowman is uber violent, uber sexual, and also about an avenging Native American spirit. So, see, you get all of this energy from 19 to 30 years old to create these worlds in your mind and to bring them to life. And then something like Comics the Magazine, Wizard Magazine. Back in the day, I used to buy the official U.S. PlayStation magazine all the time. That got expensive towards the end because it was like $10 to $12 an issue. But it had a disc in it. Anyway, it was interactive. It brought you together with what you were trying to learn and what you were trying to enjoy. Same way here. Same way here. They're creating something, a symbiosis, a synergy between independent creators, who Tony Fleecs is still. I don't feel like he's lost that energy for being independent. Tim Seeley has done a lot of independent books up until this day. But Joe Keating, let's see. And they talked to Ben Stenbeck, who has been one of Mike Magnolia's go-to artist collaborators for years now. He worked on The Skinless Man, Lands Unknown, Frankenstein Underground, a book called Baltimore. Then, what else? April Solicitations on sale for June. It like I said, it screams Wizard Magazine. It screams from that time where you had Wizard Magazine that came in and they would give you the solicitations. Now, are they doing every solicitation? No. They are talking about some Superman books. We have Bizarro Year One from DC. They have the Spider-Man Superman book. They have Youngblood by Rob Liefeld. They have Thundercats and Silverhawks. And then they do, just like Wizard Magazine did, top interior artists, top cover artists, top writers. So you have all of these different things coming together to create just a fun magazine that you can put in your back pocket because it's not perfect bound and it's small enough. You know, kids don't do this with your comics, but you know, you can put this in your back pocket and off you go. And if you're on a train, if you live in an urban area, or if you're in the car and you're riding with your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother or whoever, you can flip this out and you can read about the medium that you love. Okay? That's if you're a kid. But even if you're my age, if my wife is driving, or I don't know about my stepson just yet, got to watch him just a little bit longer. But if one of those are driving, I don't get car sick. So I can stare at my phone for 4 hours if we go to visit her sister in Arkansas or something like that. But if not, I've got this right here that I can flip through. And it's you know, like I said, it's not the most expansive magazine. It looks like it's 33 pages total from front to back cover. 34 pages actually from front cover to back cover. So like I said, it's not thick. But I want to say Wizard Magazine started out at about 100 pages. So they had more advertising to fill, they had more pages to fill, but at the same time, this magazine really pops for independent creators, for big names, everybody in between. So guys, let me know in the comments, did you read this magazine this week? Did you pick up Comics the Magazine issue number 2? Which, by the way, is only $2.99. So it's not super expensive. You're not going to go out there and shell out $5, which unfortunately, that's how much years ago Wizard Magazine was. I think it started at $3.95 and then it went to $4.95. And then I think by the time that it finally finished in 2011, that magazine was maybe $5.99, something like that. But the point is, go out there, grab this book, support it, keep it on the shelves, keep things going. I'm not going to sell you the thing of, oh, if you don't buy this, it's going to go away. But in this case, it's true. More so even than the comics that you love. If you don't buy this, if you don't support this, we can't see it grow exponentially. We can't see it become something that Wizard aspired to, but eventually moved off onto a wrong path. This has the potential to be something so much bigger than what it is. So go check it out, guys. Thank you for watching the channel. Thank you for watching all of these videos. If you have any video, any comics or anything like that that you would like me to look at and read and give a preview of, I will keep it spoiler free. But I'd love to get some independent creators funneling their books through me so that I can get them out to you and tell you how to get to these really great books. Stuff like Damaged People was from Damian Connolly. I'm trying to think some of the other books that I've, really pushed on this channel over the last 2 years that I've thoroughly enjoyed, and I think you guys would too. It's not all about Doc. It's about bringing you content that you're going to be excited to watch. It's going to pull you in and loop you in, because I always ask you at the end of these videos to hit me in the comments below and let me know what you thought about this video. If I'm great, let me know. If you think I suck, let me know. Anywhere in between. But let's try to be constructive. Let's talk about our comics. Let's talk about what we bring in each and every week, what we're loving, what we don't love, and what books we are excited about. I'm going to try here in a little while to start doing maybe some FOC videos occasionally, or some books I'm excited about, something like that. I'm going to try to start bringing you guys that. And as I get time, I'm also going to try to include thumbnails and inserts into the video, so that it's not just me holding up a visual marker, but instead, if I'm over here talking about Amazing Spider-Man number 27, I can have it pop up right here, and then you can see the cover and maybe even a preview page or something. So keep watching. Let me know what you love. Let me know what you don't love. And let's keep growing this channel, keep growing this community, and keep reading your comics. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.